Hey everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you already know me, you know why my voice sounds like this. If you don't know me, basically I yell for a living, even though I'm not supposed to be yelling anymore. I'm supposed to be on voice conservation, but I don't listen, so here we are. If you couldn't tell by the title, we're switching it up a little bit today. I knew when I came back to YouTube, I didn't want everything to be makeup focused. So if you've been watching my channel since my return, you know that sometimes I just get on here and do makeup and talk about something else. But today we're taking a little bit of a different direction because I'm talking about something that I really haven't talked about on this channel. And what inspired it is me in my schooling and stuff. One of the last classes that I took was healthcare marketing, and although it's healthcare marketing, it's basically marketing. The only difference is you're marketing to a specific audience versus, I guess, just taking a regular marketing class. Anyways, I was sitting on the couch the other day and some show was on. My girlfriend was watching this show and it seemed interesting. It was like real estate, but also like drama, and not real estate drama per se, but it was like personal drama and stuff like that too. And I'm a little bit interested, so I was like, oh, you know, what's this? Boom, boom. She's telling me about it. And then I was like, oh, what's this on Peacock? And she was like, nah, it's on Netflix. And I literally had her pause this damn show because I'm trying to figure out what in the hell is Netflix doing these days. Like, I don't know. It really made me stop and think, and we had a whole conversation about marketing and Netflix basically abandoning their core audience. So if you're watching this and you're under the age of, I don't know, 29, Netflix started off as a literal mail-in movie service, okay? You had to send this crap in the mail, they send it back to you, you know, Blu-ray, all that good stuff. Then they turned into Redbox. Okay, you're out picking your little movies on what you want to do on the weekend. And it was a very like innovative way. They're gonna use a sponge. A very innovative way in watching movies, right? If you know, they put Blockbuster literally out of business. So their core audience is my age. And based on a lot of different things, Netflix's niche was like movies, and then Netflix original content, and then also having like some of the shows and everything that we liked to watch that was no longer being offered on TV. So they had like the different cartoons or like the sitcoms and stuff like that. And a few years ago, out of nowhere, I know for me, based off what I like to watch, I remember like randomly it being like, oh, Family Guy, you know, watch it before it leaves the platform. American Dad, watch it before it leaves the platform. Different shows that was like out in the 90s or early 2000s, watch it before it leaves the platform. And it's like, okay, Netflix was already on like their wave of, okay, cool, we're not gonna subscribe to Netflix anymore. And then they were like, well, make way for original content, Netflix originals. So everybody's like, okay. But what started happening, right, along that lines, Hulu came. And when Hulu came, it was a lot of talk of like, what are they gonna offer? Why would I have Netflix? Why would I have Hulu? Why would I have both streaming platforms? And something that I started noticing that Hulu was doing is all the stuff that Netflix was getting rid of, Hulu swooped in and put it on their platforms because they're watching the market, they're watching the tweets, they're watching the Facebook posts, and all that other stuff with Netflix's core audience, trying to figure out why these shows aren't on the platform anymore and threatening to leave Netflix. So Hulu started swooping in, getting like all of those shows. Like Hulu literally, I think honestly, one of the smartest things Hulu could have done was get the Golden Girls and get Living Single. At least for the people in my life, like I have the box set of DVDs for the Golden Girls. I was on the hunt for Living Single. Like all these shows where it's just like, damn, I would love to have these shows. Hulu swooped in and got those. They got the anime that Netflix was getting rid of and put it on their show, put it on their platform. And they came out with their own Hulu originals. People were still wondering, why would I get both? And something that Hulu ended up doing that Netflix wasn't doing was they started partnering with the different networks. So if your show came on weekly or whatever, got the hiccups. Where could this brush be? Okay, so then if your show came on, Hulu would air it the next day. So you may not have cable anymore and you missed the live showing of whatever, but then you were able to come back and watch it starting at like 4 o'clock in the morning. It would end up being available by 4 a.m. And Netflix wouldn't even have the season until way after the season finished up on cable networks. So now people had a reason to have Hulu and Netflix because, okay, cool, you can get your Netflix originals, but Hulu is allowing you to watch things in near real time. And the reason people weren't really complaining about watching it the next day is because honestly, most times, you're at work or you're busy at night and you missed it on TV anyway. So most things that you were doing was DVRing it. And what was the purpose of DVR? Going back to watch it when you got a chance. And sometimes that was the next day or 2 days later. So now more people are like, why do I need cable if I have Hulu? Because Hulu essentially is getting rid of DVR, which is a really smart move on their part. But Netflix was still, coming out with the comedy specials and making these deals with, your favorite actor or the it person, coming up with all these brand deals, Adam Sandler having, creative rights, the Obamas inking a deal, all these different things, right? And I'm not breaking it down like year by year. I'm just giving a summary of how Netflix was still able to stay relevant even though Hulu was offering something that seemingly the masses had more use for. But, Netflix it kind of still had like that nostalgia. And also, at least while I kept Netflix, and it's still one of the biggest critiques that I have of Hulu right now, is the ability to skip the intros. Like Netflix has it now, I think like the first episode that you watch, like the very first episode, there is no skip intro option at all. And then afterwards, you can skip it. Hulu, I think I've only seen a couple of shows that popped up recently where you can skip the intro. But Hulu, you gotta fast forward through it. And I'm gonna tell you right now, in the age of convenience, that shit is annoying. Like, yes, first world problems, but it's super annoying because the damn intros be hella long, hella loud. The volume control still isn't controlled whatsoever based on the volume of like when they're actually like filming and recording the actual show. So I want to say recently while I was doing my hair, I watched Unprisoned, and Unprisoned was one of the shows that allowed you to skip the intro. But it pops up so fast that if you miss it, and then you try to hit up like you can on Netflix, like you hit up and then the feature will pop back up, Hulu doesn't do that. And that's super annoying. So Netflix still has like their isms that everybody's liking. Now, let's get back to the content. Hulu made a deal with Disney and ESPN. You can bundle up now. You can do Hulu live stream. So now you can watch all of this live stuff and get a deal across platforms because other platforms are coming up. And Hulu recognized, okay, you know, we may not be able to compete. So let's figure out where we can join forces. Very, very, very smart move, especially during the pandemic and Disney was releasing all those movies on Disney Plus. It was just a huge, huge deal. And Netflix did their own thing as well by, what was it, like, they ended up coming out with some movies. They're coming out with, like, what is it, watch parties. So everybody was coming out with their own watch parties, all types of stuff, right? Boom, let's cash in on this pandemic. Everybody's staying home. You know, I think all platforms were doing really well. And here comes the platform's baby sister, Peacock. Peacock came out of nowhere, honestly. Like, I had heard about it. And I know it's NBC's. I think NBC is their parent. But Peacock came out. They got NBC originals. They got Peacock originals. And Peacock started doing movies that were in theater. They made direct deals with Peacock. So if you had Peacock, you didn't have to go to the movie theaters to watch it. And you didn't have to pay for it on Peacock. So I found that out when I wanted to watch, what was it? The Last Halloween or something like that. I forget the name of the movie, but the name of the movie implied that it would be the last one, and it wasn't the last one. But anyway, I watched that. Then I watched Jurassic World on Peacock as well, and I'm like, hold up, this is kind of a bop. And then the reimagining of Fresh Prince, so Bel-Air is on Peacock as well. Real Housewives of Dubai. So I'm like watching all of this stuff. I'm like, okay, Peacock is doing the thing, and they have like the NBC shows, all this other stuff. But one thing I noticed that Peacock is doing is they're using a youthful approach to get a younger audience, an audience that only knows streaming platforms, to their platform, and they have a good streaming mix of current movies, current shows, plus older shows like all the Housewives of whatever the fuck, and the Housewives of Dubai. So they have like a really, really, really good marketing mix to where even an older demographic is able to come to the platform and still find what they're looking for, but also find something that's in line with what we're growing with too. Because again, while I'm about to be 34 years old, I'm also moving with the times as well. And somebody who has all those platforms, I know that if I want to watch something older or different or something that's aimed specifically towards me, I can go to one of the other platforms that I pay for. We're going to get back to why I told y'all that original story at the beginning about that particular show. But I'm just taking you on a journey. So that was basically the prelude or whatever. I want something more. Something that's gonna help this stick more on my face. All right. Anyways, where was I at? So yeah, if I want to watch something for nostalgia or whatever, because I still watch Golden Girls every night, still watch American Dad, still watch Family Guy, all those things, I just go and watch it on something else. Recently, Netflix hit up all of their people because prices have been increasing. And they're like, oh, the prices are increasing, blah, blah, blah. And of course, the internet does what they do. Oh, I'm not about to pay, all this other stuff. And they're also doing this thing now where it's like, you have to log, every 30 days, you have to log in from your home IP address, because they don't want people sharing Netflix passwords or whatever, which they tried to battle that in the first place by saying like up to a certain number of people on accounts. But honestly, they're slowly but surely nixing any reason why anybody would want Netflix in the first place. Let me do bronzer, then blush. Anyways, so they doing that dumb shit. It came out in February, I want to say. I saw it pop up on my Netflix account, and now I'm specifically looking at Netflix like, okay, I'm seriously considering canceling you because I don't need you anymore. And Netflix did this thing, I want to say they started it during the pandemic, where they do like movies of 2020 and movies of 2022 and 2023. So they have these deals where they're putting out original movies on their platforms with like big name A-list stars, and they put out these little trailers and all of that or whatever. And that's supposed to be like, oh, I know we're making all these changes to our terms and conditions, but you're about to get movie theater quality right here in your living room. And for somebody like me, that's not enough, because a lot of people are on the go now. So you mean to tell me, let's say my original IP or whatever is in my house, but I'm on a trip somewhere and I'm on a plane and we're coming up on them 30 something days and I'm watching it on my phone or my iPad. Now I gotta log in and now I'm locked out on my account because I'm not on the original home IP address. Like, that don't make no sense. The reason you're an app is so that I can go and take you anywhere and everywhere. And that's not making sense whatsoever. One. Two, even if people are sharing the platform, if everybody in the household is not necessarily sharing the revenue, at least you're getting the streaming of those shows. And because you're getting the streaming of those shows, you're still making money. You're recouping the money that you put into paying all of those people for those movies in the first place. So what are you doing, right? So in the midst of all that, Hulu is staying steady. Peacock is continuously growing, and all those things. So going back to the show, it looks like Netflix is trying to go back to their original idea of movies, because they are promoting like, oh, like they have whole trailers for all the movies that's going to be released every year. And their shows, though, the shows are falling off, right? So going back to that show, I'm like, oh, you know, what's this on? And my girlfriend was like, Netflix. And I'm like, Netflix, why do you have like reality TV drama shows, right? You have shows about cooking competitions, baking competitions, cooking documentaries, true crime documentaries. They have like housing shows, like designing shows, stuff that's like particular to being drama free, right? I cannot find this damn brush. Oh, it's right here with this. Particularly shows that don't necessarily have like drama. But this one in particular is messy. And the signature of the mess goes back to when I originally asked, oh, what is this on Peacock? And she said Netflix. Every streaming platform has like an overarching theme of the types of shows that they show on their platform. Hulu is gonna have, like, how can I describe Hulu? Where it is in my face. All this stuff is in my face. Hulu has like a lot of like ABC originals, NBC originals, shows that's like signature to a network and a platform. And Netflix has stuff that's very like specifically made for the platform. So Hulu definitely has Hulu originals, but they also show a lot of shows that we want to watch on TV. And they remarket it so that those who don't want to pay for cable can watch it. So everything that you would want to watch on live TV, you can watch on Hulu. And Netflix isn't like that. And we get that because eventually when Netflix gets the show, we can binge watch it versus watching it weekly or episodically on Hulu. Even though Netflix started doing this damn episodic shit, and honestly, it's a terrible idea for Netflix because Netflix is a binge platform. Them doing this weekly and trying to do what everybody else is doing is literally reminding me of Instagram trying to be TikTok. Doing the same thing and abandoning your core audience because you don't have to chase all of this crap to still be relevant if you just keep the things that kept you relevant in the first place, right? So I have not used this blush in a long time and it is amazing. So they're literally like Netflix has to me no signature anymore. I literally can go on Netflix and I'm just scrolling through shows and I'm like, why is this here? Then Netflix will have really good shows and then cancel it. Like, what? It just doesn't make any sense. And I knew when they canceled that show that Jaden Smith was in, the one in the 70s, I knew it was gonna be a problem. That show got so much, but they were like, oh, well, it costs too much to continue making it. So pay for it. You're literally inking these 6-figure deals with all of these other people. And those movies may not even go number one, but you're not putting the money in what you built in the first place. And so it's like, now, if I want to watch a show, I don't go to Netflix. And every time you look up any shows that you like, oh, you got until this date to watch. You got until this date to watch. And then it's never going to be on the platform again. That's where Hulu is swooping in. Because Hulu is picking up what Netflix is putting down, literally. And I just don't see Netflix in the next 10 years being the platform. Because they're already on a dangerous slippery slope. Netflix is, I don't even know what's going on or what even caused it. Like, even if the other platforms are coming out and you feel like you're in competition, to me, there was really no competition. Because once you kind of start seeing what all the platforms are doing, everybody's purchasing all of the platforms. Like, nobody was like, oh, I'm jumping ship and doing this or jumping ship and doing that. Unless you truly wasn't messing with Netflix. Netflix is the, binge platform. You can go on there and there's like 8 seasons of whatever it is that you want to watch. And you can just chill, relax. This eyebrow's way better. You can just chill and relax. Because Hulu don't do that. Like, you can literally get invested in a Hulu show and then you be done and you be like, wait a minute. That's it? You gotta wait a whole year or 2 years or whatever. So that's super annoying. But anyways, in my eyes, Netflix could have just kept doing what they're doing. And now they're all over the fucking place. And I don't know what they're doing. All right, I'm back to close this out. At the end of the day, I think that Netflix really needs to take a long, hard look at who's working in the marketing department and truly figure out what is going on and how they can keep their core audience from abandoning their streaming platforms. Because, baby, Hulu is doing nothing but continuously solidifying themselves in the game, and Peacock is on the rise. And quiet as it's kept, Tubi is throwing out some bops. Okay, like, they are really hiring a lot of aspiring actors and actresses, directors, cast, crew, whatever. So Netflix, you might see yourself being the blockbuster of your time, and I would really hate for that to happen, especially because I was here when Blockbuster went under. But y'all need to figure it out, child. Figure it out, because you are smooth on your way to increase prices and remove TV shows like soon. So yeah. Anyways, I hope y'all enjoyed this video. As always, like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Follow me on all social media platforms under the name of KiVonShe. And honestly, I enjoy videos like this. I enjoy conversations like this. So if you want to see me doing my makeup and talking about so many other different things, then comment below and let me know what you want to hear my thoughts on, because I have a lot of them. And if you get me going, I'm going to talk a lot. So I'm going to go get me some food. And I'm going to show off this face. And I will see y'all in my next video.